How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Hey, it's Night of the Living Podcast.
What?
Yeah. We've got Mom and Dad coming up in Roulette. Mikey's talking about that. We have Red Sonja.
No.
The sad whimper
The
release
reddest
of the Conan movies.
Oh, what a bummer.
Womp
So bad.
It was not good.
And the usuals are having Freddy. Amy's here.
That's me.
Mikey B.
I'm Mikey B.
Kelley.
Yo.
Kelley's the proud papa of a high school graduate.
Oh, yeah. My son, he left the world of high school behind yesterday. It was a blessedly quick and short ceremony. Good. Everyone commented on how quickly they moved it.
Good.
Fantastic.
It was very nice. They played a medley from Sweeney Todd and Phantom of the Opera. Which is, I thought, both weird choices for the band to play during
really
graduation. But I think it's just because they knew them. The last show, the last concert that they did was like a Broadway.
The Worst Pies in London.
Yeah, it was a Little Priest. They played a Little Priest.
Oh. Yeah.
And the opening, like the theme, and then one other bit that I don't recall. And then Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
It was the gothiest pre-show
During
for
the
graduation.
what part?
Before, while they were preparing everybody.
In lieu of pomp and circumstance.
You know, they played that too.
Yeah.
But super gothy.
Yeah.
The industrial version.
Robert Smith came and guest conducted the Northwest
Did they
High
drop
School.
a chandelier on the audience?
Mm-hmm.
They called it pomp and unavoidable circumstances.
So yeah, that's awesome. And I'm only 41.
Yeah.
You're a young man.
I've got a lot of living left to do.
Yeah.
You're a youngin'.
Get busy living.
Yeah, my whole body hurts.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
My joints. My shoulders particularly bad.
Do you want a back rub?
During the show?
I have a massage Tuesday.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. We'll see if it helps.
I,
you were doing yoga right before you came.
I did. I did a 75-minute Hatha yoga class.
Hatha?
Hatha. Yeah.
Is that where you do it in a cave with a...
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're
real
hanging
cold.
upside down.
Cave, yeah.
I did. It's that's actually nice. That's a different type of yoga where you're hanging and stuff. That's the Cirque du Soleil kind of yoga. No, Hatha I'm learning is a restorative practice. So it's supposed to be like a lot of like strength building, deep stretches and
Ooh,
stuff.
I need that.
So I'm feeling kind of chill right now.
I need that.
Yeah.
I have made no good health decisions in a long time.
I came straight from smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee. Well, it's not really coffee. It's
I'm watching Captain Kangaroo.
Your cum drink.
yeah. I was drinking my cum drink, smoking cigarettes, watching Captain Kangaroo,
Yeah.
playing solitaire.
Counting flowers on the wall.
Well, there aren't any.
No.
I tried to find one. This is stupid what I'm doing right now. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I couldn't keep up with you guys. You threw it out there.
You tried real hard.
And
You
I
got
just-
it.
I-
You did it the most.
I feel like I fumbled.
No, you got it.
It's
All right,
good to
thank
see you.
It's good to see
I
you
must
too.
go. I know I look a fright. Anyway, my eyes are not accustomed to this light.
You saved it.
Last weekend was Mother's Day, so we took our moms to see Life of the Party.
Oh.
It
Missy
wasn't-
McSee?
I mean, it was decent, but it was no back to school.
Yeah.
But it was okay. Wasn't
Why
bad.
did you say Back to School? I know nothing about this movie.
You've seen Back to School, right?
Yeah.
With Rodney Dangerfield.
Is it supposed to be the sequel?
It's basically that movie, only
Okay.
with women instead of men.
Okay.
It's like the Ocean's 8.
Mm-hmm.
She decides to go back, to school as a,
She decides to do
older
what?
woman.
Go where?
Back to school.
Oh my God, you can't get away from it.
But at a college, which they say where her daughter goes, they're only 20 minutes away from. So why does she live in the dorm? She's a grown-ass woman.
Well, didn't her husband keep the house? Wasn't that part of
Anyway,
husband?
it's been things
her husband?
things I've been thinking about since we watched it.
Yeah, you've been
So why didn't you
carsing.
just commute it?
But what's
Yeah.
exciting about Melissa McCarthy is she is going to be in the Happy Time Murders,
Yeah, I haven't watched the trailer for that yet.
which fucking looks awesome.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like I feel like it's vaguely Meet the Feebles-ish. It's like an adult Muppet movie, and it's made by the Muppet people. Like Brian Henson is directing it, but it's full of swearing and murder. Watch the trailer immediately.
Mike's gonna flip the table.
That's awesome.
In fact, if I think of it, I'll post it in the group. I posted it on my main face page today.
Did you say Brian Henson?
Brian Henson.
Huh.
And Melissa McCarthy is in it, as far as I can tell.
Any Muppet crossover? I'm like actual characters.
I don't know that. Did I get quieter, Elvis? I feel weird.
No,
Okay.
you sound
All
fine to
right,
me.
my headphones sound
Like
suddenly
it?
weird.
You need to take a break.
You stroke out?
No,
Did you eat lunch today?
no.
No.
But anyway, it sounds real weird in my headphones.
Give me your shorts. I'll put them in a bread bag and call your mom.
But I haven't seen any like actual like Muppets. I don't think.
Okay.
I only watched a bit of it because I want to watch it on my TV instead of on my phone.
Yeah.
We'll check it out after this.
All right,
Check
sounds
it
good.
out.
What an exciting
Check it out.
time.
Yeah.
So I was about to say, and then the computer went kablooey, was that Melissa McCarthy, most movies she stars in, I hate.
Mm-hmm.
Hate.
Yep.
But I have a deep and abiding love for her because I think she's fantastic. Why is that?
Yeah, I feel like this is problematic because they don't rate the stuff she's doing. I mean, anytime she's done like a small part, like in Bridesmaids, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
St. Vincent was pretty damn good.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, but she wasn't. I wouldn't.
She wasn't playing
Yeah.
at all her usual.
And she was fantastic in that.
Yeah.
But I don't want her doing drama. I mean, do what you want to do. Obviously, I'm not you, but
Say
I'd
what
like
you
to
wanna
see her
say.
doing something funny that isn't. They need to do a Great Outdoors remake.
I kind of liked. God, I love The Great Outdoors.
Me too.
I kind of like that one she did with Jason Bateman, where she was like a thief.
Tammy.
No, it was before Tammy, but it was like very similar because I never saw Tammy.
Sally.
But it was Sally. But it was right before that.
It was Debbie.
Oh, Identity Theft.
Yeah.
Theo.
Theft. I started to say Identity Thief, and then I was
Identity
like, I corrected it.
theft.
Identity
Come
Theft.
on. I thought that was okay. I mean, it didn't like knock my dick in the dirt or anything, but it kept me laughing. And I thought that I thought there was like sort of a sad melancholy undercurrent to it.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's me.
No, you're right.
it's not.
No, it's not. I don't
What was the
think
one
she
she did with
gets.
Sandra Bullock?
Oh, The Heat.
The Heat.
That was good. I liked that.
I didn't care for it.
I liked Spy as well. I forgot about that one. This is the thing about Melissa McCarthy movies. I usually enjoy them when I'm watching them,
And then you
but then
forget them.
I forget about it.
Yeah.
Like as soon as it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like her so much.
I'm
I
that
feel
way with
like
She just
most
seems
movies.
like she's so talented and
Yeah.
everything, but
You didn't like Heat? The Heat?
no.
which
I
was the
didn't.
one where she was the like the Martha Stewart like character.
Oh, that's the one that just came out, and I don't remember what it was called.
Oh, where she went to jail and came out or whatever.
Oh, yeah, where she's the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Is it called the CEO?
Maybe.
I think
don't
it was
know.
called This
Bossy
Isn't Paula
Pants?
Dean.
No.
What?
That's not
What'd
right.
you say?
I said I think this is called This Isn't Paula Dean.
This
The
is not
Saint-
another Paula Dean movie.
I'm saying your father's Paula Dean.
My headphones are still weird. I'm sorry, listeners. I keep like,
Are they too quiet, too
yeah,
loud?
super quiet.
Oh, quiet? That
Yeah.
I can fix. That's all you had to say.
Number 4.
That's not weird. Just give me. Use your words, kid. Kid.
It is weird.
You
Get
need
out.
to say what you need.
It was fine before.
The
and then-
Boss.
The boss.
It's called The Boss.
Yep.
So that's Melissa McCarthy corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we do Star Wars section for just 2 seconds?
Let's do it.
I heard that
It's still funny. Like, I'm fine though. I can hear you.
I've been hearing this. Has anybody else heard this Lando Calrissian pansexual thing?
Yeah, but I haven't clicked the links.
Okay.
It's still
read
kind of
more.
the same. It's okay. We'll worry about it later.
We will.
I'm worried.
About
worried
Lando
about it now.
Calrissian being pansexual.
Oh, no, about that.
So is it?
Oh, there it is.
Is it evident in the movie?
Came back.
I don't know. That's why I'm.
You're not sure?
I'm hoping to ask a Star Wars expert that's more knowledgeable than I am about evidence for this whole Lando Calrissian the pansexual.
Yeah?
Well, he is a groovy dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that from Empire. He's a super groovy dude.
Would Billy D have played Lando Calrissian as a pansexual?
I
He
doubt
wore a
it.
cape.
He did wear a cape and
Okay.
boots. He wore those tall boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but any evidence of? Do we know? Like, was there alien?
I can tell you in the comic books that I didn't see him do anything that was out of your standard banging alien broads.
Okay.
So
maybe
maybe it's coming down the pipeline.
Maybe that's what they mean by pansexual. It means he's other species sexual.
Oh.
When our definition of pansexual is something different as humans.
Okay.
You can fry his sexuality up in a pan.
I didn't read
delicious.
I didn't read it, but I did see some people going, "Oh, here we go, another instance of we'll tell you later that character was
like
LGBT."
Gandalf.
I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
I don't listen to nerds anymore.
I know they hurt my feelings.
I just don't.
I mean, I think it's pretty groovy.
No,
baby.
I think that's groovy. I mean, I don't listen to nerd complaints anymore.
An old Steve Reeves movie.
That's why I'm kind of wondering if there is a historical. I mean, maybe we're going to see pansexual in Han Solo.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious if there was a history.
A Star Wars.
I don't think so.
A Solo colon.
I don't think the character's sexuality was ever anything that the people who wrote Star Wars really thought very much about.
Same.
It was very
It
much
was Billy D, right? That was his presence. He just was like kind of a sexual being.
Right, he's
He
super
brought that.
sexy. Yeah, like he was always oozing. He left a trail of sex behind him everywhere he went.
Right.
His cock changes to whatever size the person he's with wants it to
just
be.
like the ring.
Yeah.
The one ring.
I saw
for
him
him.
at Comic-Con a couple years ago, Billy D. Williams, and he was in a stretch limo, and he looked really kind of scared and confused looking around.
Really?
Yeah.
And then like he rolled his window down at one point, and he was like, "Yeah!" and waved at everybody. I was like, "That is a cool motherfucker."
He is a cool motherfucker. I'm very excited for Solo, though.
I am too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Super excited. Stoops.
I have been very impressed with my Movie Pass experience so far.
Mhm.
However,
Mm.
my debit card expired in April.
Mhm.
And instead of sending me an email saying, update your account, your payment method expired, they just closed it.
Mhm.
And like, you can't reopen a deactivated account for 9 months, according to their website. So I had to start a new account with a new email address. And I have to wait for my card.
Moral of the story:
The fuck, man?
they are not. You got to make sure you're on that shit if your card's
I
expiring.
just don't understand. That was real poopy.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've loved my Movies Pass experience, and my card's already on the way, and I'm sure I'll get it very soon.
I feel like I still.
I better be able to see Solo, or
It
somebody's going
makes
to be in trouble.
me nervous how the rules keep changing on Movie Pass. I think it's fantastic right now, but it's like one of those. I keep feeling like it's too good to be true, and then as they change rules, now you can't see the
then they
same
change them
movie
back.
twice. I would love to go back and see Avengers, but I'm gonna have to pay for it with cash.
Well,
Right.
I don't, because I paid for it out of pocket the first
Yeah, the
time.
first time we had to pay for it because you can't use Movie Pass on 3D anymore. Where before you
That
used to be
rule
able to pay
changed.
the difference.
Right.
So, also our theater will not let you use it on screens 1 or 2, which are their big format.
IMAX.
It's not.
Oh.
Well, yeah, it's their version of
basically
IMAX,
IMAX,
I
yeah.
guess. Yeah. So it's tricky, but I do understand why they're doing it, because otherwise we won't have it
I
anymore because
want
they're
it
going
to
to go out
be.
of business.
I like I love the concept,
Right.
but then I start to get in my head about it, and I'm like, what have we done to industries where like the music industry and now movie industry and all this stuff where we have demanded things in a certain way,
We've devalued everything. Yeah.
and we want it cheap, and we want it the way we want it and when we want it, and I'm like, are these sustainable forms? But then I'm like, you know what? The cream rises to the top.
Well, that's true with music,
And-
especially. Like the people the only people who are really going to be able to do that for a living are people who can pour all their time and energy into playing live shows. 'Cause that's the only way they can make money.
Right.
And so, but those are usually the best people. People who really care about their craft and their art. So anybody who doesn't give a shit is just going to fall to the wayside.
It's true.
I'm like, giving consumers what they want seems perfect. Of course. That's the point. But then I'm like, are we creating sustainable industries
But it seems
for
like
art at all?
Spotify and Apple Music, I mean, those things, I love it. Like, it's changed my music. I just remember, like, someone would tell me some song or something, and I'd have to go and download it to make sure I wanted to buy it, or you went from buying an album for one song that was, the rest of the album was truly horrible.
But
and
now that
almost-
artist makes significantly less money.
But like what Kelley is saying, they're having to change. Creators have to continue to create, and they have to create differently. I think it's, we work with our limitations and we work with what the formats are now. I love it.
To be honest, that's a lot of that was happening to some artists even before the advent of like streaming music. the labels were just able to manipulate contracts where the artist still had to tour like crazy to make.
Oh yeah, they
money.
didn't really make a lot of money.
It is a more democratic way of.
Yeah. More of the money, who's losing actually
is
the labels are losing more than the artists.
You don't. I would love to tell bands coming out, don't even try to get on a label. You can do this yourself.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why you need to have. I mean, yeah, they can market you better, but first of all, radio is dying. You don't need to be on the radio. People will find you, and you can target where you can look at numbers and target where you have the most fans, and then set your shows there, to try and sell out shows. But you're right. The labels, I mean, platinum selling artists weren't making money. I remember years ago, because I love the Toadies, and they put out this thing about like, well, this is how a band actually makes their money. And, we're a platinum, we have a platinum selling single, platinum album, but this is what happens, and everyone is taking this much off of your top. And it's so even at the time you could be have a huge radio hit or, but you still weren't making money off of record sales.
Yeah. What was the band that kind of made that? It was a huge splash or a huge story where you gave whatever you wanted for their album?
Radiohead.
Yeah, it was Radiohead.
And a lot of people have done that since.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, okay, so the cable companies are kind of dying out as more people cut the cord. Mm-hmm. And the labels are dying out. So you have sort of your gatekeepers are sort of dying out, but then the new gatekeepers are coming along, like Spotify. What they are going to, as long as they keep their algorithm pure and don't manipulate it because they get money from such and such.
Right.
As long as that stays pure, then you're okay. But like Netflix is moving away from buying new stuff from other people. They are making their own shit now.
Yeah.
More and more. That's all you see on Netflix.
Well, that is like, you don't see a lot of just like old movies and like old TV shows showing up on Netflix.
So Netflix is for sure starting to gatekeep, and they're like, nah, we want you to see our shit because we make more off of that. So I don't know. It's just an interesting time to be.
But if they get
better.
Oh, go ahead. Well, if they get too cocky about that, then there'll be something else. I mean, and then you have your things like Shudder and other things that are competition that are popping up. I mean, all
I'm saying is, can somebody just fucking stream Married with Children? I want to watch it from the beginning to the end again, and it's nowhere.
Drew
It's
Carey
on the
too.
TBS app. I think it was
all
TBS.
of it.
I don't know if it's all of it, but it's you watch it there.
Is Drew Carey streaming somewhere? I don't want to Google it.
Yeah, into a urinal in the Price is Right studio, probably right now.
Well, it's interesting
on a Sunday.
too.
Yeah, he goes there to pee.
Oh, he lives there.
He lives there.
Because you're seeing it across, other mediums as well. Video games now, with like Xbox has its own, streaming kind of service, and Nintendo just announced their online service, and
Disney's gonna fracture and do their own thing.
Well, their movies anywhere. That's been fantastic.
I love
Disney.
Movies Anywhere is great because you can use that to link all of your services together.
Right.
So like if I buy something on iTunes, I can watch it on iTunes or Amazon Prime or wherever. Wherever. If I own the movie, I own it across all platforms.
I've found some limitations on that. There's stuff that I've purchased and they don't let you have on Movies Anywhere. I'm sure licensing issues, but still pretty awesome service. So I mean, I think it's just becoming better for the consumer, and I hope better for the creators. I don't know.
I think just specifically for music, I think it's like a real double-edged sword because you have now so much more freedom to do whatever you want and to be creative and to run your band as your business however you want. But you also have to, so it's opened up for everyone to play.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like small, teeny tiny bands now are as relevant and easy to find as, your huge radio pop or, huge radio bands. But again, they're not making money off of their albums. So they have to figure out how to either get their songs licensed to movies, for other things, and constantly be playing live shows, trying to sell merch, so it is real, it's double-edged, and it's just, like you said, it's a way you have to kind of rethink the model,
Well, and I think like the thing that really got me thinking about a lot of this stuff is now Apple Music is making this big push for Apple Music videos, which I feel like is a call out to Spotify because you don't really get that kind of thing, and that really is a plus to their service.
Right.
And I remember,
but I don't care.
I love a good music
I love a
video.
good music video.
The new video from Ghost for Rats. Remember we watched that? That
was fantastic. It's fun, and it's just cool to see it coming back in an avenue that I can watch it and not have. I mean, I guess this is what makes me a different generation, but I'm not. I want to have to watch that crap on crappy quality on YouTube. Not that they don't release some HD stuff on YouTube, but I like that. I'm gonna it seems like there's a reason for artists to spend the money to create music videos again, because it's there and it helps people get the word out about good music. So
I hate YouTube.
To bring it back to the Movie Pass argument.
Why?
I don't know.
Because we're talking.
There's just too much. No, I said hate YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. I thought you said I hate you too.
I was like, why?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I have my reasons, but I'll discuss them off air.
But I think that the tier solution will come to Movie Pass, where they'll have a premium tier that'll cover IMAX and 3D and all that. And I'm
going to shed a tear.
If you put the tiers in, I think it'll solve a lot of the problems.
Liberal tiers. I just want Movie Pass to succeed. I think it's a great idea. So that's all I'm going to say about
It's got us out to the movies more.
It has, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'll see things I wouldn't normally have wasted time on, just because now it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
And then I buy popcorn when I'm there. Theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Listen up. Speaking of democratic ways of supporting art, patreon.com/NOTLP.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to support this very show.
Yeah.
As much as $1 gets you access to all our premium content.
Night of the Comic. We just did a new one about our dollar bin disasters and delights, and we talked about the passing of Margot Kidder. And and I always have fun with the clearance bin stuff, because the rule is on the show when we do that, you go to the bargain bin at the comic book store.
Mm-hmm.
You randomly grab a comic book, and that's the one you have to review.
Oh, that's cool.
And I ended up with one, Michael Turner's Fathom.
I love Fathom.
You do? See, I didn't know I had never heard of it before, and it's been around since 1998.
Michael Turner, what a loss. He was an amazing artist. He was one of those artists that really pioneered, drawn sexy ladies. Him and J. Scott Campbell really blew that up in the 90s.
I could see that you're a fan. This is not his art, Mike. Mike is looking at it because he passed away in 2008.
Yeah.
And this comic is from 2012. But
he also did Witchblade. That was his big first.
Oh, I know Witchblade.
Yeah.
I could see him being an influence a little bit on your art, Kelley.
Witchblade now?
Yeah.
Love Michael Turner. He was amazing.
So it was kind of an education for me, because he was somebody I didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
And that's always fun. Like, I mean, we in the past we've had stuff like just sometimes it's just weird stuff pops out of there that is a one shot, but every once in a while it's something that's like a blast from the past. But it's really fun, that dollar bin disasters and delights. Hopefully, maybe sometime if you feel like doing it with us, it'd be fun.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
And then I've got my new show, Pictures of Butts.
Pictures of butts.
Which is where I just describe pictures of butts.
Yeah.
Actually, that could be fun.
Just describe them.
I want to see what words you come up with. You know what, Kelley? We have to make that happen.
Yeah.
This one is globulous and prickly. Oh, I just watched this episode of Tales of the Unexpected.
Irritable, but approachable.
Yeah. There's an episode of Tales of the Unexpected, that Roald Dahl series is from season 2 called Taste, where the guy who played Fagin in Oliver Twist is this wine connoisseur, and he can name wine like down to what vineyard, blah blah blah, what commune, what year, blah. All this
He's a
stuff.
real Niles Crane.
Yeah, but it's so disgusting to watch him like chew wine and stuff in this episode. Ew. But you can't look away.
Okay.
It is that car.
Can you rewind the tape for a second? Because I don't know anything about this series. I love Roald Dahl.
I had the anthology, by the way, the book.
Yeah.
It had all the stories in it.
It's awesome.
And I want to go back now that it's on Shudder.
Well, only the first season's on Shudder, but if you go to Amazon Prime...
It's an anthology show from the
70s.
Yeah. Tales of the Unexpected, it ran from 79 to 88.
Okay.
It's 112 episodes.
Wow.
And if you go to Amazon Prime... They have, I think, all of them there, but Shudder has the first season.
Have you got to the one where the guy is just an eyeball on a brain?
Nope. I feel like I've seen that before in other places.
Because I've never seen any of it, but I read the book.
I don't know why it tickled me, but it sure did.
It's not the way you think. It's like this weird little sci-fi story about this guy who's a scientist, and he manages to keep his brain alive and one eyeball so he can see, but his wife is...
Oh, wait, I have seen that one.
Yeah, and his wife, like, they had this, like, he was a shitty husband for years.
Yeah.
But now it's like her, like, she starts blowing smoke at the eyeball, like, because it's her time now, because he has no body.
What a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, but it's like her time.
It's her time. She's reclaiming her time.
Yeah.
That's
a good one.
Oh, no.
It was called William and Mary.
William and Mary, that's right.
Oh, it's a wonderful college. Jon Stewart went there.
Royal Jelly's a good story, too.
Oh, speaking of royals.
Oh, boy.
We'll never be royal. Mm-mm. I will say.
You can call me Queen Bee.
I thought she looked beautiful, and Kelley, you should be happy for your ginger twin fella.
Sure, I'm happy for him, I guess.
Your ginger prince friend.
I didn't even know this was happening until yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like
you didn't get your
we're
invitation.
Americans, goddammit. But it was a fun little distraction from all the dead high school kids.
Sure. I feel like I'm supposed to know who she is. People are like, she's famous.
She's not famous.
No, she's like a B-list actor, I think.
What is she in?
Was she on Suits?
Yes.
Suits.
Somebody said something about her being related to H.H. Holmes. That sounded crazy because no one is.
No relatives.
Somebody.
There's no way to know.
He occurred. He occurred.
He fully formed and left this earth.
Maybe it was a joke. I don't know, but
all
it's
the
possible.
Murder. Yeah, rough week for the news. It ended on a real down note. What a bummer, you know what I'm saying? Oh well, thoughts and prayers. Again, need I remind you, fuck your guns. If you can't understand that now, if you can't agree with me on that right now, you need to fuck right the way off. That didn't make sense. Fuck all the way off is what I meant to say.
I see.
Take your gun, shove it up your asshole. Shoot yourself in the asshole.
I don't have one right now.
Take yourself out.
Asshole?
If you love your gun so much and you don't understand what I'm talking about right now, I fucking hate you. Anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Millie
and Ted Cruz, please die. Just die.
This was a weird one. That was a weird one. I don't know.
I had to tell you about it.
the energy around, I don't know. Are people just are? I'm not hearing much about it.
I know.
Which scares me even more.
School shooting fatigue.
Right. And the problem with the last one is with all of like the copycat stuff that was going on, even though I don't think there were any documented cases of anything getting too far, there was certainly a lot of energy around it. And now you're at the worst point of a school year where everybody's over it, staff and student alike, and just want to be done. It's a scary time for education. And the fact that this wasn't an AR, gun, this was a shotgun and a revolver. I don't get it. This one's been upsetting to me, and especially the fact that there's just doesn't seem like anybody's talking about it.
I know.
And maybe that's because I'm really avoiding news, and so I'm not hearing it.
I should be. I got enough frustration in my life right now. I don't need more.
I very rarely see news. I read news on the homepage of Reddit.
Yeah.
And occasionally I'll be like, oh, look, North Korea's doing something.
Oh, a panda and a kitten.
The kids really...
That's what we need more of.
Rallied the last time, and I think the thing that was so encouraging about the last one that was turned it into like we kind of see with the future. There's a future generation that maybe is not as apathetic as we thought
because they've all been involved in a school shooting.
That was great.
Yeah.
What upset me about that was the kids who were speaking out from that high school, the politicians, it was like dealing with my ex. Like, the politicians just say all this crazy nonsense that's not true. And it's like a lot of people think it's not true, but they're like saying things to these kids and saying things about these kids. And it's just, they're just making shit up. And then people believe it, and then these kids are like, that's just frustrating.
Well, that's the cool thing about the youngsters, and a lot of the replies that we've heard is those kids saying, well, we'll just make sure we vote you out. Like, we're what's coming, and that's not to say that the kids, I'm not a big kids have all the answers, but I do believe that kids look at things a different way and that they'll evolve. We're evolving differently. They're evolving differently. They're taking that information and they're evolving it, and they realize how much BS is in politics and all of those pieces. So I'm excited. I just don't know what's gonna happen after this one, and I'm not trying to sound predicty, but it's real scary because if we don't have any energy left.
We were talking about it at work on Friday, and one of my coworkers has a kid in kindergarten or like first grade, and another kid in like preschool. And she's like, "I'm afraid to send my kids to school." And I'm like, "That's some real shit right there."
I think that's a legitimate fear. I don't.
How do we end this on a nice note? Before we move on.
Well, we're going to transition to a movie about killing kids.
Yay! It's real timely if you think about it.
But in a fun
we can
way.
bring it back to the beginning. My son made it through all of high school without being involved in any kind of school shooting.
Yes!
So, success. Success.
So proud of him.
Yeah, he did good managing not to get shot.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Good job, Colin.
That's the real graduation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's great. We're going to move on.
Can we play that Vitamin C song?
As we go on in our Kevlar.
All right. We'll be back.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Come on, everybody.
Freddie's at his standing podcasting desk.
It's good to be here.
It's a good stance.
I needed to because my body's old.
Okay.
I needed to stand. I can't
your
keep
soul.
sitting all the time.
He's an old soul.
Mm-hmm. He's an old.
All right, Mikey, give us the rundown of Mom and Dad.
Are you not going to do the... Don't you normally say something about 19...
No, I do that for the main attraction.
Oh,
Jesus,
shit.
Mike, have you ever been on this goddamn show before?
I have.
Motherfucking shit,
sorry.
fuck,
Mikey
fuck.
B is bringing you Mom and Dad.
Here it comes.
2017.
Here it comes. So I watched for Russian Roulette. I think everybody at this table watched it as well. Is Mom and Dad. This I was actually introduced to it from the trailer, which probably a lot of you were as well. Freddie played it, and I was really excited to watch it. So I was glad I got picked for this film. I don't know. There's really anything to. I obviously liked it, but there's really nothing to spoil. So I think we can kind of, especially with all of you all having watched it too, we can give it a pretty good review.
A thorough scrubbing.
So the concept of this movie is it's Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair, which Selma Blair does not get to do enough.
No.
She's great.
I said the same thing to Amy.
Yeah?
When I was watching. I said
She
I
did
forget
feel
how great
underused.
she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It seems like she was kind of doing like the teenage film thing, and then she disappeared for a while, and then Hellboy, and then I can't really think.
That weird freak out on that plane
She did that
What?
movie with
in real life.
Oh, really?
Cameron Diaz and
Cameron Diaz.
Oh, yeah. The
and
sweetest thing?
Christina Applegate.
I love the sweetest
Yeah,
thing.
it's a cute movie.
So,
It's also
I
the
don't know
best
that I've ever
U2
seen that
song.
one.
what was the freak out on the plane? I didn't even hear about this.
She claimed she mixed some pills and shouldn't have, but had like a breakdown on a
She
plane.
took her pants off and splattered diarrhea all over her.
Did she kill her kid?
She free associated so hard she shit her pants. That's a line from that documentary now episode. Bill Hader.
So that's awesome. Nicolas Cage, Selma Blair. They are parents. And I thought it seemed like a kind of wealthy to do, but then you start realizing they don't have much money, and then when you find out what Nicolas Cage is actually making, you realize his lifestyle is probably not possible later on in the film. But they're a stressed married couple, but they there's like an illusion, I guess, because I think this movie kind of goes in with the assumption that shit's gonna go off of the rails.
Yeah.
So you get to see Nicolas Cage pulling even before it happens. You get to see Nicolas Cage pulling a lot of like crazy Nicolas Cage faces.
Yeah.
He's got
Cage face.
There's a lot of Cage face where he goes into rage over his kids, and Selma Blair
Cage rage.
And then Selma Blair has boring basic mommy rage towards her teenage daughter, which I thought they did a really good job with because it seemed real realistic.
Selma Blair knocked it out of the park in this movie.
Yeah, I just really, again, it's like I can't express enough. Like I want to see more Selma Blair. She's just such a distinctive.
I need Selma Blair. Never mind. Should have tried.
Well, she was on that show. What's that show?
tried.
Mom or something? Was it Mom?
No, she was on.
Kath and Kim. Was that it?
Or was it?
Yeah, it was Kath and Kim.
Filthy and gorgeous.
What the
Was she
fuck
on
are you
that?
talking about?
I don't know. Go ahead.
She's on Kath and Kim.
Kath and Kim.
Mom
that's
is
better.
Anna Faris. And
That's
what's her
right.
Oh
face?
yeah, she was. Did that only last
Allison
like one
Janney.
season?
Yeah, Allison Janney and
No, that's still on.
Is it?
What?
Mhm.
Oh shit, they're not
And
promoting that
apparently
at all.
it's really good, but I've never watched it.
What?
I think it's like I kept seeing because I did watch like a couple episodes and I was like, this is the garbagiest show I've ever seen. But then I heard and I saw that like as they kind of delve more into like the more like their addictions,
the dark
and stuff.
Yeah,
it supposedly got better. Can I say real quickly before we move on? I called kind of a thing, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I called what was going to happen, what was going to kind of help the kids out later.
What Kelley is trying to say right now is he's super smart, and just think about how smart he is.
Well, I mean, I think that we're not really worried about spoilers on this one because I know. So, what did you call?
I called that it was going to be the parents coming to kill the parents that would end up saving the kids, because I was like, there's no way they're going to get out of this without help. And I was like, what about all the parents? And then sure as shit, they showed up, which I thought was awesome.
It was great.
It was great.
Lance Henriksen.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. So the idea of the film is the teenage girl is just awful, and she has an awful friend. So she sets up the the old people you want to see die pretty well, and they're in school. And all of a sudden, we're not really sure why they get pulled out of school. The alarms go off. There's some kind of emergency at school, and all the parents are at the gates of the school.
So creepy. I love this setup, and I like, as much as I love zombie movies, I love like the Crazies type movies even more. It's just so much more terrifying because they're still people.
Were you shocked that this had never been? I don't recall this ever being done before.
Yeah, not this specific one for sure.
Yeah, and it was that scene where they're trying to get their kids to come to them.
Oh, it was horrifying. This is such
so
a
spooky.
Movie. Yeah, it was real spooky. And when they're all just waiting outside, like looking in the windows.
And you would think, obviously the kids, oh, my parents are here because they're worried because some sort of emergency is happening.
And a couple of kids jump out to try and get to them, and that's a bad idea.
It was a bad idea. Did I don't know how. Here's where I know that some of the reviews are not great on this film, but here's where I think it was masterful. That content, like that subject matter, especially right now with a school, something awful happening in a school, and emergencies and alarms going off and all that. It almost felt like played for comedy, but still scary at the same time. Like an arachnophobia kind of like, this is real scary stuff, but it's kind of funny, even though it's dark matter. I just thought they did a great job of balancing that in this entire film, really.
I don't believe in sacred cows, mostly. So go for it. Give it a go, but you have to be good at it.
Yeah, well, I think they flipped it on its head because, again, like normally the parents showing up at the school and there being a problem, it's like a school shooter and the parents are concerned and want to get their kids out. And in this, the parents are the problem.
Right.
And they want to keep the kids in the school.
Right.
Yeah, and when the first little boy goes over the gate and his mom kills him with her keys,
that
was pretty horrifying.
It's
I laughed.
Because he's like, "Mommy," and then
and they're trying. Yeah,
get. Don't be. No, you're loud. Yeah. Sometimes we need the catharsis of watching something horrifying.
I just thought what made this movie
laughing at it.
What made this movie good was that it was fun, and I don't. Maybe that's just my twisted own.
Oh no, you're right.
That's why
we're here. Definitely. And watching Selma Blair, crazy Selma Blair, and crazy Nick Cage like reconnect over their combined attempt to kill their children. Like there's just a lot a things about this.
Right.
It was also very Home Alone.
Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, this is like Home Alone if Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci were the parents.
Yeah. It set up to,
my two dads.
The darkest thing I thought in this whole film was Nicolas Cage in the pool table scene.
Yeah,
like when he gets the pool table because he wants to have he wants to have his space, and she calls it a man cave, and Nicolas Cage does a classic Nicolas Cage bed, man cave.
And what's great about that? Oh, I didn't mean you still have more to say.
No, I don't.
Oh, I feel like what was great about that too was that I don't think was even motivated by the thing that was sweeping through and making people
no.
That was just him and her, like
right. Oh well, also I
really
think,
strong.
And he sums it up really great when he says, "This is the only place we can escape from our children."
Yeah,
and him struggling to level the pool table, which I remember I had. I think it was my uncle was putting a pool table in. They just talk about the nightmare of leveling a pool table.
Yeah,
you have to get it where the ball has to be so perfectly level in every direction that the balls will not move on their own at all, right? And you see that scene of him thinking he has it, and then the ball rolls, and then he's like he can't win.
Yeah, watching him smash the pool table was actually one of the scarier parts of the movie.
Because you can get that frustration, and we've all tried to do it yourself projects that have gone awry, like
a big movie screen.
Big movie screen.
You like to do it yourself.
You're pretty sure that there might be a lose it breakdown moment, and that was really good. I love the saw that. To me, cracked me up too, because I always wonder, like, what exactly do you use a saw for?
What do you use?
It's Sawzall, Amy. Oh. It's Sawzall. I use it. I started using the Sawzall instead of my chainsaw.
Yeah.
I bought a pruning blade for it. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. There you go.
For those of you doing yard work, if you need to cut down a tree and you don't want to mess with a chainsaw,
use a Sawzall.
I hate having a yard.
Was it telegraphed that it was spread through cell phones, or was
I thought it was through TV static?
Was it through TV, or were they just giving us a bunch of like things from other movies and stuff and trying to make us guess what it was?
Yeah, they never blatantly say.
Because like there are a few moments, like you said, there's like moments where they like linger on TV static. There's a moment where some Blair's on, like, gets a weird call or something. I think she's looking at her cell phone and it seems to hit her. Like, I feel like there's a few different things where you're like,
it was real creepy when Nick Cage gets it.
Yeah,
the way he's sitting at his desk and then he screams.
Yeah,
that was for me. This was like and I think even Nick Cage himself said this was like his favorite movie he's done in like over 10 years or something.
Yeah.
And like it really is like head and shoulders above a lot of the stuff he's been involved with.
Oh, for sure.
He's the perfect choice.
Yeah.
I can't see anybody else doing this.
It let him do his thing without it being like a parody. Like, it felt like he was actually acting the character. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Right. And you could see all the frustration that he had and the way that he dealt with it. And then on the flip side of it, Selma Blair did such a great job at like the frustration of your teenage daughter just thinking you're absolutely lame. Like anybody who's been around teenagers, they think you're boring and lame, and you think you're pretty awesome, and you're never going to convince them otherwise. And she's really trying to, like, she has that moment in her Zumba class where she's just like, I still got it. I can still shake my butt. I can still be fun. And you can see where she's kind of fragmenting too on like kids can be awful. They can.
Well, there's that conversation she has with her best friend when they stop to get coffee, and she says, I saw whatever her daughter's name was.
Yeah.
The friend does. She says, I saw her changing the other day and I hated her.
Yeah.
And I thought those tits are going to
fall down to
your knees. They're going to fall down to your knees someday. Yeah.
And it's going to be hot shit forever, kid.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it
lasts. I mean, speak for yourself. I'm every bit as good as I was.
Is wasted on the young.
It's true. We were looking at your high school picture the other night.
Swooshy hair.
Coming back to your comment though about like the
get better with age.
No one ever having done it before. They do that the science part with the savage stuff, which I thought, again, for just a really untapped resource of like the savaging where, in the animal world.
Oh, where he's talking about, pigs eating their young. Well, also in the beginning, it's a great horror movie trope where they'll have a high school student in a class and the teacher just happens to be teaching something that's relevant to the theme of the movie.
Right.
And it was planned obsolescence, and they were talking about smartphones and how when they design something, it has its destruction built in. Yeah. So like and that's really what the movie is like, is it saying that humanity had planned obsolescence for this specific generation to be the last one?
Right.
And then that's a cool idea, and I know they're talking about possibly making a sequel to it.
A lot of great themes, man.
Yeah,
when we watched that, I was like, "Oh, look, this is what the biochemical weapon is going to be."
Yeah,
get ready for this. It's going to be something like this.
Or I think it's even creepier to think, if you're a religious person, to think that if there is
that's the rapture,
intelligent design, that part of it was that planned obsolescence piece.
Yeah.
So, Mikey B, you recommend this movie?
I highly recommend it.
And it's fast. It's fast, and it like just whips you through. And then when there's nothing more to say, they don't say anymore.
And the way that everything was shot too it's really. I mean, even if you get bored with the movie, it's not gonna. It's kind of like Crank,
right?
Which it's distinct grindhousey. There's
Doesn't
looks. There's
overstay its
very
welcome.
There's very unique cuts and unique things that you don't see. I think it's refreshing.
The housekeeper scene's really good.
I also really like. I feel like some people's complaint might be that it ends really abruptly, but I think that's great. Because sometimes I feel like when you actually like play the rest of a story out where that's not really the focus of the story, and then you see how it all turns out, it sort of diminishes it. I like when things are left up in the air sometimes, and I feel like that was a strength with this. Like, why do we need to see how,
Right, it does nothing more for it to tie up any loose ends.
Right.
Like, it's really just about, this is, and it's scarier because, like, there's that moment where she's comforting her little brother, and she says, whatever this is, it'll pass.
Right.
And it doesn't.
Right. Who knows if it ever will. That's right. What's great. And it's really nicely structured because first you get the larger scale, big picture, and then it becomes like the microcosm in their house, and then it just sort of finishes out there.
Elsa's really enjoying your review, and now she would like to kiss your face, Kelley. Well done. She says, good job. Good job reviewing that. Well, thank you.
Hey,
Mom
thank
and
you.
Dad.
Great.
It's on Hulu if you got that now, kids.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Let's shoot some folks.
Shit.
I'm going to shoot. Movie Gun, Movie Bullet. Freddy, you're up first. Whoops. You lived.
Okay.
I'm next. I lived as well. Kelley. Oh, Andy. He's not even here. He's not feeling good. He's not feeling good. He's feeling good enough to continually send us bowl cut pictures of him when he was a kid.
Yeah.
More on that later. Andy died. Andy's going to watch a little film called Tremors, A Cold Day in Hell.
Oh, the Antarctic.
The latest in the Tremors series. Just hit Netflix.
How much of a fucking bummer is it, by the way, that Sci-Fi ends up passing on the pilot for the Tremors show after Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward are both on board? Like, it sounded amazing. And then they're like...
Maybe NBC can pick it up and pair it with Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You're like, no, never mind.
All right. Tremors, A Cold Day in Hell from 2018. The subterranean worm-like creatures are back. And graboid hunter Burt Gummer...
Not Burt Gummer again.
Suspects they've been weaponized. Starring...
Michael Gross.
Yes. And Jamie Kennedy.
Oh, I'm going to watch this one. That's good.
All right. So Andy will be watching that.
Tremors, Cold Day in Hell.
I really wanted the Tremors show. I really wanted it.
I'm sorry.
I want someone else to get it. Kevin Bacon.
Bacon. Who doesn't love bacon?
Frying up in a pan.
Pansexual.
Whoa. There's a lot going on
Bring
here.
it all back.
Okay, we'll be right back.
This week's main attraction is the 1985 disaster Red Sonja.
A disaster piece.
Well, they were really churning them out, man. 82, 84, and 85. That's wherever they were located. I feel like they just lived there.
Yeah, this is Dino De Laurentiis is like, we're going to expand. We're going
to have our own shared universe.
And
we're going to give everybody their standalone.
It's like, we're going to take this other character, Red Sonja, who is a very Wonder Woman, warrior woman type of character. And we're going to bring Conan in, our proven audience get Conan.
They're both from the same universe.
And then they're like, no, you can't get the rights to Conan for this one, even though they're in the same universe. So they're like, all right, we'll have Schwarzenegger do a cameo. We'll have him come out for a week and do a little cameo. Then Schwarzenegger shows up. And they trap him there for 4 weeks.
They're like, he's got the hair. Let's just keep him.
Yeah. They trap him for 4 weeks. They film a bunch of scenes he didn't agree to. They edit a bunch of scenes into the movie that he didn't want in the movie because it was supposed to be about Red Sonja. And instead, they turn it into this movie about the two of them.
Yeah.
And
falling in love again. Oh.
And this is what killed us ever getting Conan the Conqueror.
Yeah, and why couldn't they get the rights to Conan?
I don't know.
Because they already had the rights.
Well, it's confusing because you had 3 studios, right? Because this was MGM. The one before it was Universal.
Yeah,
and then,
I think.
And then before that, I think it was a different studio.
No, I think the first two were Universal.
Or was it? No, it was
Name some more. Paramount.
Sorry,
Warner
Brothers. It was Canon.
Orion.
Or what was the one with the C?
Touchstone.
Anyways, regardless, I think it went from studio to studio.
Yeah. Miramax.
Mm-hmm. But they did bring Richard Fleischer back, who directed Conan the Destroyer, and it's just, but they go full tilt goofy in this one.
Do you remember how I said in the first Conan show we did that I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was completely devoid of charisma?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Bridget Nielsen compared to him in the first one, whew.
You mean
she's just a blank-faced, mullet-haired,
prehistoric
boring ass.
She had quite the mullet. Can I tell
just
you?
Boring.
What kept occurring to me throughout was that this gave us Flavor of Love.
Yeah. It did.
This led to Flavor of Love. It led to something.
Yeah.
Something later.
Well, it led to, they were on The Surreal Life together, is that what it was? And then they had their own show, and then he went on to do Flavor of Love.
Yeah.
Fucking.
It's directly responsible. Dino De Laurentiis.
She had to have done a lot of drugs in her day.
Is directly responsible.
Yeah. And so.
Just why?
Yeah. Well, the basic story, right, is what Red Sonja is attacked by Queen Gedren's soldiers and
played by Valeria.
Raped. Yeah, played by Sandal Bergman, Valeria.
She wasn't great in this either.
No, she was alright.
She would have been a better Red Sonja, maybe.
I think so.
I mean, if Conan wasn't going to be Conan, and she could be whoever she wanted to be then.
They were going to have Sigourney Weaver play Red Sonja originally.
Oh, yeah. I've been into that.
Because when you have a bad script, if you have good actors and a good director, you can zhuzh it up, you know?
So it's kind of a Kill Bill situation where she's going to get revenge.
Yeah.
And then they cut to this other group, which I was never 100% clear on whether that clan of warrior women that were protecting the
Lady priestesses.
That were protecting the Lochnar.
Yeah.
Lady warrior priestesses.
Were they connected to Red Sonja? Those were her people,
her
right?
Her sister was one of them.
Okay, that was her sister.
Yeah.
I was never 100. I couldn't remember 100%. So
Varna,
Queen Gedren and her henchmen come and they steal the
Lochnar.
The Lochnar that can only be touched by women.
Because it can create worlds.
Yeah.
Get it?
But they were going to destroy it, the lady priestesses, because it was too powerful. But
the power of women, too powerful.
Too powerful.
We got to throw it down a dark hole.
It's a really good metaphor for how women have been treated.
So they're all slaughtered.
Lots of history.
Sonja's sister gets away with an arrow in her to live just long enough.
She was ziplining and got arrow in the back, which was a fun scene.
That was kind of cool. And I did wonder like how they got their little zipline things back to the top.
Yeah.
With rope.
You know.
How do they do it now, Freddy?
Magic?
I don't know. I think there's a system.
There is a system.
There's a system that ratchets it back, but I feel like these were just...
No, it was impossible.
It was just a coat hanger and a
They
rope.
used the Lochnar.
Yeah. And
that was the only reason they kept it around.
Calidor stumbles across dying Sonja's sister.
Calidor.
And Calidor is Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
Wearing red velvet, which is not a good look on him, I'm going to be honest.
And there is the fan theory that this
honest.
is Conan. He's just traveling under a different name, like Mr. Underhill in Lord of the Rings or whatever.
Oh, because he's a thief. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But he doesn't feel like Conan.
It's not Conan.
And
I'm watching it again. He's inconsistent.
He also says something real dumb when he says, I'm a mercenary. No one pays me. Someone pays you.
No, he says, I'm not a mercenary.
Oh, he said, I'm not a mercenary?
Yeah, she says, here, I'll basically reimburse you if you send me your 1099.
Right.
And he says, I'm not a mercenary. If I think someone owes me something, I take it.
I gotcha. We both heard it wrong. We heard, I'm a mercenary. No one pays me. I was like,
No, he was saying the opposite.
It's not how merc work works.
Merc.
All right. I apologize, Arnold.
Oh my God! Write him a letter.
So,
send him an email.
Send me an email.
How does this happen? Because you can tell there's a huge budget. Because
I don't know.
They made lots of rock formations.
Yeah, and
lots of them.
They still had the cool play sets that the other Conans had.
$17.9 million budget.
Okay.
For the time.
Pretty good for the time.
Yeah, but like nothing fun happens in those play sets. Even that mechanical, it goes on way too long, and it's not fun.
It's not fun.
Interesting.
The
And
hand, the big statue.
That's the only
hand.
part that part I thought was really cool, and I was like, "Oh, look at this!"
Well,
This
how
is a
we
great
get to
set
that
piece.
is
right.
The she says that
She's like, "Fuck you, Calidor," and she runs off.
yeah. she's gonna go.
I'm gonna handle my sister's business.
Yeah, well, once he tracks her down and tells her,
We also
blah, blah, blah.
we did
Doesn't
skip
matter.
her
None of this
her ninja master
Oh yeah, the sword master.
with the crazy shoulder sticks.
He's like, if I were 30 years younger,
I would bang the hell out of you.
he's like, I'd grab that mullet and wouldn't let go. So that was fun.
He
Yeah.
hasn't seen her cry face though. Her cry face. Listen, I'm being mean. I get it. But when Bridget Nielsen cries, she looks like Eileen Wuornos. Wuornos.
You're not really making fun of her cry face. It's her acting trying to cry face.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're good. It checks.
So
It
Breytag.
disgusted me.
Yeah, it should. She did look like Eileen Wuornos.
So they had two paths, right? They tell her you can get there two ways: the window or the stairs.
That's right.
No,
To the window.
she goes through Breytag's keep or whatever, which is the shortcut. And Breytag is Pat Roach returning, who was the boxer character, the bald boxer from Raiders, and also he was Tothamon in the last movie, and he's in all the Indiana Jones movies. Yeah,
they're not playing the same characters.
So Pat Roach has got his big beard. He looks a lot like the dude who was the Hawkman from Flash Gordon.
Yeah,
and Sonya kills him, and she kicks a bunch of butts.
he gets killed easily in all these movies.
He does.
But Calidor shows up again.
Well, we also have
Calidor,
Tarn
Saber
and
butt.
Falcon.
And this is how they get to Tarn and Falcon, because she finds their destroyed castle, and the prince and his bodyguard are the last two left of their kingdom.
And he's kind of a mashup between Short Round and the Maharaja from Temple of Doom.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And this is when I had given too much of my attention to this movie and took a break because Andy's like, I had that haircut.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm going to go get the yearbooks out because Andy and I went to the same high school. And then we spent some time looking at yearbook photos and watching the movie, sort of.
And we have Cretin from Night of the Comic and Horehound Radio's picture. We have Kelly's picture, my picture.
Cretin and Andy had the same haircut and glasses in high school. Just FYI.
High and tight.
If you've seen Jason Cretin in person now, it's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I did not ask permission yet to post this picture, but good lord,
we need to put him out there for our next
ask.
Throwback Thursday or whatever.
we need to ask him.
So, and Andy has been sending us. Andy is not feeling well, but he has been sending us lots of pictures of him with bowl cut. And
because he says every Asian child had that same haircut.
So this is Ernie Reyes Jr., who starred in Sidekicks.
Oh, yeah.
Which was such a fun TV show about a cop who adopted this little boy who was a martial arts master.
I forgot all about Sidekicks.
Yeah.
I remember now.
That's some good shit. Mm-hmm. At least I remember it being good, but I remembered Red Sonja being pretty good too. Mm-hmm. And he's a great martial artist, and because he's so little, I think his choreography plays even more dramatic and fast than it would have otherwise. And I think that's one of the highlights of the movie is watching him.
He's the best character in the whole damn shebang.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Falcon reminds me so much of Paul Sorvino.
Yes.
But it's Paul Smith who played the character.
Are we sure?
It's close.
He was Bluto.
Paul Smith
in the Popeye movie.
Huh. Oh,
so if you know the Popeye movie.
Makes sense. That's a weird movie. We should, well, anyway.
I would love to do Popeye on the show. Yeah. If that's what you're about to say.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I would love to eat Popeyes on the show.
But he was, the actor Paul Smith was in a lot of great 80s fantasy movies. Not, well, great, but fun ones.
He was in movies.
He was in Dune and, excuse me, I'm about to throw up. The Protector. Haunted Honeymoon. He was
Haunted Honeymoon.
Oh, really,
okay.
I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, I remember liking it.
But I remember liking Red Sonja. So, as I said,
you are not to be trusted anymore. And so they're a ragtag bunch of funsies, and they are off to find the queen because she's destroyed Red Sonja's life.
She's wrecking shit.
the kid and the guy's life.
She keeps turning on that bug zapper.
I think Caldor is along for the ride because he wants to bang.
Because the producer wants to have Schwarzenegger in as much of the movie as possible.
I guess so. They made a horrible mistake with this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens? I don't know. There's a mechanical water dragon thing.
An ichthyon.
Yeah.
That happens.
I like that.
I don't remember.
Well, then there's a big showdown at Queen Gedron's palace, and it crumbles like in every fantasy story.
She's drunk with power and making poor decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She falls into a pit of lava.
Well, she wanted to bang Red Sonja. That's how it all started, remember?
She wanted to?
She just wanted her for her maybe?
No, for sex. That's what it was.
For sex.
Wow.
All right.
Is that explicitly stated, or are you just drawing that?
Well, when I Wikipedia'd it confirmed it, but I already thought it because she was like, she wanted her for her own, but she was disgusted. Red Sonja was disgusted and rejected.
Oh, that's right, because I remember saying, not with that mullet, she's not.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I was like, you're clearly barking up the right tree. Maybe she's just not attracted to you.
You know, Red Sonja was like, no homo.
Yeah. You said she had flannel armor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was a good one.
For being a warrior.
Going Freddy.
Nobody's wearing anything that covers anything.
No.
Well, you have to
see your body in order to be interested in this movie.
Well, you have to reconcile movement.
I know.
With protection.
As someone, I never watched. I don't really remember watching the Conan movies growing up. I was really pleasantly impressed with how they flesh out a warrior, because you just think Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be doofy all the way through the movie, and he's a little doofy, but he's doofy and fun and charismatic.
Right. Not this one.
That's just. We were all clapped at the beginning when it said it was 1 hour and 38 minutes, but this felt like it was way longer than the other ones that were longer.
I really think it was just these really clumsy battle sequences that just went on, and there was no grace to them. So it just felt like a bunch of people like
you were watching a LARP, kind of like kids at the park LARPing.
And Brigitte Nielsen is just getting. She doesn't. There's nothing there that I feel like you can really sink your teeth into.
She was such a poor choice for this.
But there are a couple of comical overacting moments, like when she's like, what did she say? She looks right into the camera and says something like, I'm coming to get you, or something. And she does this really goofy face. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
It was near the end of the film, and we were all like, what?
She didn't punch a camel.
That's true.
You know what?
Let's give it up to
Thank
the movie
God.
for that.
Why do you think she was chosen for this?
Why was she chosen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because she was like a big, tall
What about,
model.
was there even a consideration of just bringing Grace Jones back as somebody different?
I wish, man.
That would have saved the movie.
To have a whole, I wish they'd given her character
boring,
a whole movie instead. It would have been so much better.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
There was talk of remaking this with Robert Rodriguez directing and Rose McGowan starring, but then the Dark Horse Conan movie did not do well, so that got scrapped.
I don't think Rose McGowan would have done much for me either.
I don't know.
And China's dead, so just kidding. I wouldn't have. I didn't think that would be good either. I don't know who I think would be good.
Source material was this.
So Red Sonja, the character, it was spelled differently a little bit, was introduced in a story by Robert Howard.
Shadow of the Vulture.
Yes. And then she was brought back for the Marvel Conan the Barbarian comic series and kind of, I guess, expanded on. And that's basically what this is based
It was a retcon, kind of like, because he originally, I think Robert Howard created her in a completely different, on Earth in a different time period. Right. And then later, like, fans of Robert Howard mashed them up and made it the same universe. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was a great decision.
Yeah, why not?
It works really well in the comics. Not so much in this movie.
Nope.
Oh, you know who good? But
who good?
Who big a doob?
Who good, Amy?
Do you know who good? UB40.
Yeah, UB40 would have been good. Red Sonja.
Red Sonja, make me feel so funny.
Funya.
Funyuns.
Funyuns.
Michonne from Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She'd be a great Red Sonja.
Dana, how do you say her name? Doesn't matter.
Michonne.
She's beautiful. and she's like
beautiful,
fierce.
I just rewatched.
She's a fierce ass queen.
Well, and that's
so good. Those the warrior women in that are just so.
Oh, Black Panther.
Black Panther, so
awesome.
fantastic.
That's a great example of casting actresses with presence and chops to do a warrior role instead of picking someone who looks kind of warrior-esque and hoping they can pull off. And I mean, Dino De Laurentiis doesn't care if anybody can act. But like, you know what I mean?
To me, like that's just such a fun. One of the biggest, the funnest, most fun of parts of Black Panther was seeing women who were more scary, more fierce, more warrior than the men in that film. It just like it just powers you up. So this was just a real missed opportunity to put a woman in a leading role to be powerful.
We weren't there yet in the 80s.
Well, and what's funny is because again, Conan the Destroyer was sort of it pushed those barriers and boundaries back a little bit in a much more successful way and featured strong women characters in a more powerful and engaging way. And then so I was hoping, because I mean I've never seen this all the way through. I have seen bits and pieces of it when I was a kid on Channel 19. And so I was like, oh, well, hopefully they carried that through to this one. No.
Yeah, I really thought that was one of the surprising thing to me in the other Conan movies is I thought this was going to be. I mean, in Conan, I always have like the Conan holding the sword and a woman like grabbing onto his leg, but instead, like the diversity was really celebrated. Everybody was equal playing field, and you didn't know, what warrior was really going to be the toughest of all by looking at them.
Right.
It could have been anybody, and sometimes was. So, yeah, this one's just not that they made Red Sonja out to be a weakling. They just didn't make her interesting.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, the women warriors were all very powerful in this. I mean, even when they ended up getting their asses kicked because there were too many other people. But it just didn't feel the same. It just felt like kind of...
Poor execution.
Yeah.
Very hollow movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
there you go.
Fun bit of trivia, 2 things about how bad this movie is. Maria Shriver said to Schwarzenegger at the premiere, "If this doesn't kill your career, nothing will."
He's like, "Oh, you'll stop saying things will kill my career."
And then the second,
my feelings.
I love this one, is that Schwarzenegger, whenever his kids were bad, he would threaten to make them watch Red Sonja.
That's awesome.
So it was a real disappointment. I mean, I didn't expect it to
knock your dick in the dirt.
Knock my dick in the dirt or, blow my balls out the back of my ass. But it was really just a huge letdown.
Or make your belly button an outie instead of an innie.
When you said that, I imagine your balls splatting against the wall behind you. That's what I want. Like that effect in horror movies where they have the squib on the back of somebody's head.
That's what I wanted you to see.
Except for your balls.
I was a successful metaphor there.
Okay, well, this is over then. Yep. Red Sonja. So we completed Conan month. Are we all happy for ourselves?
Yeah.
It's a good time. What's next month?
Oh, Andy. Oh, is it Cults next month?
Cults.
Yeah. Oh. So we're going to do cult movies.
I will not be here next week.
It's feedback and news. So
fucking dare you.
So we'll have to figure that out.
Turn on the robot, Kelley.
Oh, no.
You're going to get him out of the
What's going on next week?
The cocoon.
Why won't we hear?
It's Memorial Day weekend, yo.
Is it?
Fucking party.
What are you guys doing? Anything fun?
Yeah, some stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Butt stuff.
Fun. Well, it's like sort of a little anniversary of ours, and it's gonna be we're spending the whole week. We're going on Friday. We're going to the precinct to celebrate some things.
Have you been there yet?
No.
Oh.
On Saturday, we're going to see Maria Bamford.
So good.
Oh, fun.
Bam!
And then on Sunday, we're just spending the day together.
That
Where's
sounds
Bamford
great.
at?
Yeah. The Taft. So that's exciting.
Cool. Well, sorry, bro. We'll get by without you, I think.
I guess. Try your hardest.
We'll have to. Freddie, did you have a question for us?
Oh, yeah. Kelley selected this one from the deck of the, this one is Table Topics. What was the best TV sitcom ever?
Cheers.
Roseanne.
Spaced? That's a Britcom, but it counts.
That's a good one. Man, I have to, I know Amy already said Cheers, but I do think Cheers was the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
What's your second best?
My second best?
Roseanne.
That's already been said.
I know, but...
It's your third best.
I knew... What?
I'm a big fan of Taxi.
My second best would probably be Murphy Brown. I loved Murphy Brown.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Mary Tyler Moore.
You probably would be disappointed if I returned to it, but I loved it in the time.
Who's the Boss was a big part of my life, too.
As you mentioned, Married with Children.
Friends.
Growing Pains.
Drew Carey Show.
Oh, the Groot Cherry Show.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I really want to find out if it's streaming somewhere other than in the bathroom at The Price is Right.
I don't know if it's considered a sitcom.
It's not, as you have to say.
What, the Drew Carey Show?
What? No. I was about to say that, like, I really love Police Squad. I don't know that's a sitcom, though.
It's like a workplace sitcom.
Oh, The Office. The American Office.
Yeah.
It's probably my third.
It's a good one. Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Also Get a Life.
Oh, Parks
But
and
is that a sitcom? Again.
It's like a sitcom.
Community.
Sitcom format.
Community is...
Oh, Community was great.
Community is outside of sitcom for me. That's
WKRP.
WKRP.
It's Community is like a something special.
It's something special. Did you ever watch the Yahoo episodes?
No, I never did.
Me neither.
That's like I never watched the fourth season of Arrested Development, and I never watched the Yahoo season of Community.
I didn't even think of Arrested Development.
It's
another great one.
Parks and Rec.
I like Arrested Development, but I wouldn't put it even in my top 10.
Seinfeld was pretty great.
Fuck Seinfeld.
Amy hates Seinfeld.
I'm not a
It's Always
Seinfeld fan
Sunny in
either.
Philadelphia.
It's Always Sunny!
If that's a sitcom, yeah.
I definitely.
It is.
I might even put It's Always Sunny in my top 3.
It's maybe one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen, and it never has suffered a day. Like as the older it gets, the better it gets.
Yeah.
Season 12 is out of control.
Still
Amazing.
so good. You know what I put in probably my top 10, top 15? The Goldbergs.
Well, the Goldbergs is great. Modern Family in its day was great.
Oh, Modern Family. I still dig Modern Family.
I like Modern Family a lot.
Gotta.
That's a lot of the pedigree of Cheers.
Eventually, we're going to go ahead and name every.
Well,
I'm trying to think of like a
Honeymooner.
I've got to say, Golden Girls.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Golden
top
Girls.
5.
And you know what? It's on Hulu now. I went back, started watching it. That show was fun.
It holds up, doesn't it?
It does, and I'm sure a lot of that stuff. Those ladies were dirty.
They were dirty.
Dirty birdie.
Like they started showing that on TBS, I think, or something a few years ago on like Sunday mornings. And I remember getting up and watching like I was like, I even Facebooked. It was one of my memories recently. I was like, fucking the Golden Girls holds up like nobody's business.
Fucking the Golden Girls does hold up.
I saw some episodes in a hotel not too long ago of Married with Children, and I always thought that show was incredibly dirty at the time.
Yeah.
And then I think it was not as subtle. And the Golden Girls, not that the Golden Girls was that subtle. It seems like the same time frame, but
they
Golden Girls was really woo.
Three's Company was great as a kid.
I do love
Three's Company.
And John Ritter was,
Too Close for Comfort.
Who was the
Too Close for Comfort?
In Three's Company? Who was Coochie?
Charo?
Yes.
Was she on Three's Company?
I don't know, but she. You're thinking of the older lady. She looks a little bit like Charo, and
she actually guitar. She'd come on the show every once in a while. Play. Didn't Charo play the guitar?
Charo plays guitar, but I don't. She might have been on Three's Company. She was on everything. But there.
Charo's a fantastic guitar player.
She's an amazing guitar player. But there was another like sex pot character who was a little older. She was like a neighbor. I can't remember the name of the character.
Not Chrissy?
No, this was like a neighbor. She was older, and she was always trying to like
bang
Jack.
And she always had the calf can, right?
She was a lusty lady.
And she recently died.
Oh.
Huh.
It's weird to think that John Ritter preceded so many people in death.
Breaks my heart. He was so great.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Super cool, man.
Charo played guitar.
So as a
jiving good with Jack and Terry.
I forgot too that I have to name.
Really good.
Benson.
Yes.
And Mr. Belvedere.
That was a great joke on the Goldbergs recently, where the principal's like, you see that new T-Bird out in the parking lot? Do you know who that belongs to? He's insinuating, I'm cool, I have this car now. And Barry says, the cast of Benson?
You know what I liked better than Benson was Soap.
Soap was great.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of thing than Benson was, but it was real great. I mean, obviously one sprung from the other.
Soap was like very ahead of its time. It just did something really different.
I love that music. It's going to be in my head all day now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, It's time to talk about our Beelzebubs. These are the babies donating on patreon.com/NOTLP at the Beelzebub level. We're going to start with Mandy.
Mandy played triangle, jiving good with
Zach.
And Gilly.
Jeremy and Cassie.
And the Jeremy and Cassie's from Mars.
Adam
played it left hand.
Brooke.
But Brooke took it too far.
Ernest.
Ernie came on so loaded, man. Albert's well hung with a snow white tan.
Tree and Alex
would bust our balls.
Brandon Boone. Diamond Dogs. Brandon, I'm malfunctioning. I will say this about Brandon Boone. Super sweet little fella.
He is a
love
sweet
him.
fella.
Bill.
Ground control to Major Bill.
Blake.
Take your protein, Blakes.
Mark Watts.
And put your Mark Watts on.
Mikey P.
Is there life? Elise. I don't know, Elise. You remind me of Elise.
You almost did Janine. You almost did Janine.
Yeah.
You could have done that.
But that was Elvis Costello, wasn't
That's David Bowie.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was Bowie. No.
David B. Baby.
It's not Jim Bowie.
David Baby.
Amanda
fell to earth.
And finally, thank God for you, right? Jimmy B.
You remind me of Jimmy B. I used that on Elise already. I'm going to say fame. Jimmy B is a patron. Fame. I'm all Bowied out. I don't
free associate the crap out of your pants.
I just free associate so hard I shit my pants.
And thanks to any new patrons that have signed up.
We just got a new one. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you.
I think that's my buddy Jessica, and if so, hello, thank you.
Kushball.
I love you, Jessica.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, and we will. I'm hoping we'll have the new pens and tees ready to go out by September.
Okay,
does that sound realistic, Kelley?
Yes.
And
Kelly's a designer.
We still have some 2017 pens, so those of you who have donated at the $5 or higher level will get both pens.
Both pens.
I just burped into the microphone.
Freddy!
I'm so sorry.
It's a callback.
I'm disgusted.
All right, you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Give me love.
Frankenstein was wondering if he